Hey there, painters. So I thought I'd walk around this house and talk pricing and the business and some technique. So to begin with, when I went and bid this house, it was only going to be the kitchen, which would have been something around $600 to $800. This kitchen here, and I went around with a homeowner and went room by room. He's like, can you look at this other stuff? I'm sure. So I started just looking around. I actually went around after we walked the house with my video camera, and I sent him a Google Doc with each room broken down, room by room by room, price by price by price. And included in the quote was the cabinets. So this what would have been a $600 to $800 kitchen job turned into close to a $5,000 house job. And so I have the ability, the more you know how to do, the more you can just throw it into your Google Doc before you send it along in the bid. So the cabinets were they were $900, and so here we have the cabinets that I've almost finished, and I rolled them with a foam roller and finished those off. I did all the doors, and here I have the bathroom. This bathroom, and I'm just talking examples of pricing. This bathroom, you come on in here. This bathroom was something around $500, and so you can see how when you stack it all up, there's $5,000. And now I know there are other painters who might get 10 grand for this house, but I am working alone. It's going to take me a little longer. And so there's a cost to that. But the benefit to me is that I'm in one place. I'm in one place, it's more efficient, and I have like 4 weeks, 3 to 4 weeks loaded up with work in one place. I just like having the efficiency. So this was walls and ceiling here. And then in this room it was walls that were wallpaper. So, and now the room, this was all plaster walls, so they're a little groovy, but I wound up putting shellac on the wallpaper and then priming it thereafter, because the shellac like seals in the wallpaper and doesn't let any moisture through. And then you can put paint on top of that, and I mudded the seams and stuff. And so shellac is the secret for wallpaper. If the wallpaper has integrity and it's holding up, I use shellac. So this room right here was something like $700 to do the walls and the ceiling. And so you can see how this adds up. This is no longer a $600 job. This becomes a $5,000 job. Here's a little bonus that I do. I know painters, sometimes they don't do these, but I spray paint these at the end of the day. I bust out my sprayer right before I'm leaving. I put them in a bathroom somewhere, spray them, and close the door, because the spray is kind of noxious. But it is really, when you just do that without telling them you're going to do it, they perceive it. I mean, it's just a nice bonus to do the wall plates and stuff. So we can go on upstairs. I didn't do this room, but I'll show you the rooms up here. So far we have a wallpaper room and the ceiling in there, and then we had the cabinets, and knowing how to do the cabinets is key to the cabinets. I do them at $50 a door, unless I'm going to paint the insides of the cabinets, in which case it's $100 a door. That's my formula. I have another video on, a couple videos on the formula for that. In here, fixing up the ceiling, I'm like mudding the cracks in here and flattening it out, and it's probably hard to see on the video, but it's kind of moldy. So I'm priming it, I'm flattening it, and that's a skill too. So I can get rid of cracks in wall paneling if it was going vertically, or I can get rid of cracks in ceiling. And I think the ceiling is a bit outdated, so I'm just doing it. I'm making it nicer. It wasn't even part of the deal. I just like, I want it to look nicer, so I'm mudding the cracks, priming it, and painting it. And so this room was generally rooms with a closet. This closet's a little intense, but about $500. And in here, you see when you have plaster walls, they're just gnarly. They're old, there's like old cracks. Sometimes the previous homeowners have taken wallpaper and they've used the wallpaper to kind of hide the flaws in the wall. So anyway, I shellacked them and I mudded them with joint compound on the seams. Like a seam right here, I put joint compound on, and then I use regular primer over that, and then paint. And then if there's still problems with the wall after that, I'll do more mud. I just work at it and work at it. Now, can we swing the camera over here a little bit? No, come over. See this, I'm gonna use a primer on because I don't like when they get tacky. So I actually use primer as the paint on some of these shelves if there's gonna be moisture issues, okay? All right, so this was a $500 room, and here's a bedroom. It's another $500. Same idea. I mean, the reason to see a video like this, I mean, some of you are probably cursing me because it's like it seems so cheap. But to me, again, I'll say, add it all up. It's $5 grand. I'm only here for 3 weeks. It's worth my time. That's about my goal for how much I can make. It's near where I live, and so it's worth my time. I did the ceiling, and I've graduated to using the longest rollers I can use because it just saves time. I used to use I went from 9 inches to 12 inches to now like 18 inches. So there are lots of wall repairs here. Actually, when I have plaster, I don't, if there's a crack in the plaster, I don't anchor it with screws. That's one way, but if I can, I put mesh tape down and I use joint compound over that, and I start like just fortifying the wall itself and using primers, and then finally paint. I try to get away with, I like the whole thing to be primed and ready before any paint hits the wall because I don't like wasting money on paint. I'm finding EcoSpec from Benjamin Moore, which is the cheapest one, is actually one of the best ones in my opinion. So, and it has less volatility. It has no VOCs in it. So I'm really excited about EcoSpec. I'm gonna keep buying that. The quality seems like really good quality. Here's another bedroom. And actually my son helped me. It's a great thing you can do with your kids. My son is actually holding the camera right now. But if you are at all inclined to include them in your work, they learn skills. Like my son set up this room. He is 12 now, and he put this thing. You know, he's makes a little cash on the side, and he learns working skills. So he learns a little bit about how I run a business. You know, how money works, writing things off, and what are operating expenses, what are capital expenses, and then just down to the artwork of fixing walls. Now this is another plaster wall. I did lots of mud work in here. I did a little bit of mesh tape on this too. You get a roll of mesh tape at Home Depot. I did the ceilings. So I'm just juggling. This is a $500 room, and you want to pan over there and see that there's a closet with problem inside it. You don't really need to look in there too much, but it's kind of like the last closet we just saw. And then lastly, here's the bathroom, another $500 room. You know, the homeowner doesn't know how to work with mud, right? And doesn't know the secrets of shellac. So if you can use shellac, and if you can use like, I use MH because it's not water soluble. MH is another kind of mud. It's very stiff. I use that on the ceiling. It was all peeling here. I mean, he's trying to sell this place, and I'm turning it into, I mean, it's not gold, but it's pretty good. You know, he doesn't want it perfect, but he wants it really good. I'm turning this house into a very nice house. It's going to make, I would guess he could sell this house for another, 50 grand because the inside looks so nice. When there's peeling paint and stuff, and there's black mold on things, I mean, I think the value is less. I'm speaking not knowing, 50 grand. But, if I were the buyer, I'd be like, I want it to look nice, right? So I repair walls, I repair ceilings, and so I always, when I have the ceiling paint out, I try to do all the ceilings in the upper floor. When I have the primer out, I do everything that needs primed, and so on, even though I'm focused on one room at a time. Anyway, it added up to somewhere between 4 and 5 grand. There's a little more you didn't see. This is just how I do it. I go in, I bid, I have a handful of skills like popcorn removal, fixing or ripping down wallpaper, fixing walls, making walls flat that have grooves in them, and I put it all in a Google Doc. So this house, which started as a $600 job, turned into a $5,000 job, and it is peace of mind because I'm in one place. And being in one place is more efficient. I'm moving my stuff like once. So anyway, hope this helps, and keep on painting.